Hello everybody and welcome to Wesley's Plant World with me, Wesley Peterson, and today we are standing in the area of my garden called the Botanical Garden and this beautiful border that's coming along in front of me here. Now, a while ago, I did a video where I first took out my Cornus Alba Siberica, which is a beautiful big bush with red stems. It has green leaves during the summer and then they turn bright red in the autumn, and then you have the red stems for the winter. It was standing here and I did a whole video on how I excavated that plant and transplanted pieces around and about in my garden. And here I decided to extend my border out because I wanted some coverage from our roadside behind me here. I have a Taxus baccata here growing up beautifully, getting very tall just like I want it to. And in amongst those, I have a Pinus sylvestris, which is doing really well and has put on a lot of growth this year. Now, don't worry about the orange needles in the middle of this plant. That's because this plant put on so much new growth this year that it's actually shedding the inner needles on its branches, but all the ends are green, and that is natural and normal for these plants. They shed their needles too and flush out new ones, so that's absolutely fine. So I think I've covered everything that I've put in here so far, and I want to put a lot more things in here. For example, look at this lovely yellow bush I have here. This is Thea occidentalis Smerkbrad Janet Gold, and it is an absolutely beautiful tree, and it will be a beautiful contrast against the blues and the greens that are already in the border. So I want to get this planted right now. Not only does it contrast with the blues and the greens, it also contrasts absolutely fabulous with the dark burgundy colour of this Physocarpus here. So let me get this one in the ground. I just need to take the tag off and keep that to make my Excel list with this new plant. So I'll put that in my pocket. And then I just need to remove the plant from its pot. Now, it's important to make sure that you just plant it at the same height it is in its pot. And as quick and easy as that, I have one more plant in my evergreen border. So I am going to carry on filling up this border with all sorts of things that I find round and about. I'm thinking that I might want to hide away some begonia, cordifolia eroica down around the bottom here, or other evergreen ground covering plants that I can find, because I have a few different ones. And I don't mind it getting more wild under the bigger plants here with different plants as well. So we'll see how I go. So I'm all finished with the planting of my border here, and I am so pleased with all of this. I have managed to find so many different plants from around and about in my garden to replant in this border here. The only things that I've been out and bought for this border are my lovely blue cypress bushes, 4 of them, and my laurel bush in the middle here. Everything else has been moved from other areas of my garden, and here together it looks absolutely fabulous, and it has this kind of forest effect in one border, and I'm really going to enjoy this all year round because I've put in this border so many evergreen plants of all sorts of varieties, and it's just absolutely fantastic, the different shapes of leaves, the different tones of greens and blues and yellows and reds, and it's just going to get better and better, and it's going to thicken out together, and there are going to be plants coming up in and around underneath the larger shrubs and bushes, and it's just gorgeous. So I'm going to take you in for a closer look now, and I will show you all of the different plants in this border, because there are actually many, many different plants in this border now. So let's go in for that closer look. Well, I really hope you enjoyed the closer look at this border and how it's looking now. Again, we're going to have to come back in the future to see how it all meshes and merges together and grows out. And that will depend on how these plants do during their first long, cold winter month that's coming up here. It's September 2025 right now, so a perfect time to plant out lots of different plants. And I've seen already next week it's going to rain all week, so this is absolutely perfect. It's not going to be too bright and sunny like it is today. Today is actually 22 degrees bright sunshine, but that's all going to change. It will be cloudy, overcast and rainy, and that's perfect for when you plant out plants like this. But the temperature won't drop too much, so they'll still be able to grow out new roots and establish themselves before the winter actually comes. Some of the plants that I've put in here, like my Siberica japonica little princess at the backside here, I've actually put in as cuttings, cut the stems and put them straight into the ground, and everything else is plants that I've picked up and taken, put in here. Some, like the Jerusalem sage at the front, are rhizomes that I've split and spread out in the front there too. So all I have to say now is thank you very much once again for watching with me, Wesley Peterson. Please remember to like, subscribe and hit the bell so you know when my next video will be coming up, and I will see you again very, very soon. Goodbye.